Mewing's making you uglier. I said it. So some of you are now thinking, why the hell have I switched up? Let's dive in. My name is Baby Stickley, and I've had one of the craziest looksmaxx transformations on the entire planet. I completely transformed my jaw width, neck thickness, body posture, male dimorphism, entire side profile, maxillary advancement, mandibular advancement, and I even influenced my perceived canthal tilt, and I did all of this naturally. No fillers, no jaw or chin implants, no canthoplasties, no bullshit face yoga, just biomechanics, posture, training, and discipline. And if you don't believe me, I have the largest looksmaxxing community on the planet, where I've already helped thousands of guys do the exact same thing. And here's the insane part. When I tell you guys to mew, most of the guys that just go at it, plain and simple, are actually gonna be making themselves look worse, and it's probably you. So when I say mewing's making you uglier, relax, I haven't switched up. You're just doing it wrong. Here's the way I see it. There's two reasons you mew. First reason, obviously for craniofacial development. You want your tongue to have pressure on your palatine suture. It's going to trigger osteoblast activity, mechanotransduction. Your maxilla is going to go forward over time, and the mandible is going to follow that pattern. You're going to get more forward projection. You're going to be naturally more beautiful, and most importantly, you're going to be healthier. Second reason you mew. You inadvertently train your suprahyoid muscles, which in turn elevate the hyoid bone. The hyoid bone is unique, if you didn't know. It's the only bone in the entire body suspended by muscles and ligaments. It's floating. And because of that, you can influence its position by training its respective muscles around it. And a lot of you guys are familiar with hard mewing. Same concept, just applying pressure to your palate, contrary to popular belief. This is not going to speed up the process of mechanotransduction. It's not going to make you advance your maxilla even faster. That's not why we're doing it. We're doing it for the elevation effects it's going to have on that hyoid bone. I transform my hyoid bone from this all the way to this by just a few simple exercises, hard mewing included. But there's a catch. Most guys think they're mewing correctly, but they're actually making their facial structure worse, because when you do it wrong, you're going to make your submental region get thicker, your jawline's going to look softer as your neck floor bulges, your whole entire side profile is going to worsen, and then you're going to end up with what is basically a self-inflicted double chin, even if you're not fat. So that's not good. Let's fix it. Here's the bit everyone gets wrong. Here's what you have to understand. You can't just press your tongue anywhere against your palate and call it mewing, because where the force comes from changes everything. And most guys I see coming through my Discord, they say, why would I want to train my suprahyoids? Because it's going to make them thicker and bulkier, and it's this bit, right under your chin. Why would I want that to sag down? It doesn't sag down if you do it right. 99% of you will be pushing too much with the tip of your tongue. And I get it. Feels like you're doing something. You feel effort. You feel the burning. Yeah, bro. I'm mewing hard, but here's what's actually happening. Tip dominant mewing recruits the wrong muscles. It lights up your anterior digastric, your mylohyoid, basically all the muscles under your chin, and they like to pull the hyoid forward and downward. So that's the opposite way that we want. So you're literally creating an under chin bulge. That will get worse over time. That is going to make your facial structure collapse and completely sabotage your entire aesthetic. It's because you're doing the wrong pattern, and it's not your fault. Nobody talks about the distinction between bad suprahyoid activation and good suprahyoid activation. So you are supposed to engage the muscles under your chin, just not in the way that you're doing it. There's two patterns. You've got the tip-driven pressure, everything I just mentioned, where the force comes from the tip of the tongue, dragging the hyoid lower, increasing that submental bulk. That's not mewing. That's like some kind of weird tongue thrust. The good pattern that you want to implement is a back third upward vector pattern. And when you drive that back third of your tongue all the way up, you engage your palatoglossus, your styloglossus. You don't need to know the names of the muscles, but basically you help generate an upward suction and recruit the posterior suprahyoids. And that pattern lifts your hyoid bone, tightens the neck floor, sharpens that submental angle that you see with my transformation, and is ultimately going to lead to that razor cut jawline that you're chasing. Extremely similar, extremely easy why you would make that mistake, but two completely different biomechanics that will shape your face entirely differently. And from what I've seen, most of you are literally doing the wrong one. And people do ask me all the time, isn't training the suprahyoids bad then because of that bulge I mentioned? No, you want to train them. The issue is how you train them. So to make this as simple as possible, tip-driven pressure activates the wrong muscles, drags everything down, and then you get uglier. Back third-driven pressure activates the right muscles, projects everything upwards and forwards, and then you look gorgeous. It's not about more pressure, it's about where to put that pressure. So try it for me right now. Take a video from the side, look at yourself hard mewing, put a lot of pressure on your palate. Does your bulge get, under the chin right here? Is the bulge gonna drop down, or is your hyoid bone gonna lift up? If it drops down, like literally 95% of people, you're curved and you need saving. If your hyoid bone shoots up, your submental angle gets way sharper. What the hell are you even watching for? You're goated. We've talked a lot about hard mewing. What about mewing? Again, guys, we want back, third, and middle dominance. And the tropic premise states that it should be as light as a feather. It doesn't need to be hard. Again, two different reasons why you mew. Inadvertent suprahyoid training, mechanotransduction, osteoblast activity, mandibular advancement from following the maxilla advancement. So the best way to mew, as we know, is obviously suction mewing. You don't need pressure, you just need to create a vacuum. Say lana data. See your tongue just kept hitting? Place the tip there, gently, just behind the incisors. Now swallow, and as soon as you finish swallowing, and then you can breathe again, you should have created a vacuum in your mouth. And remember to have your teeth lightly touching, tessellating, unless you have TMJ, then skip that. That is the mechanic that will actually improve your jawline. That's the mechanic that changed my face. And it's this distinction between the two mechanics that I don't see anyone talking about online, so I hope I cleared this up. So yeah, MEWING's making you uglier, not because it doesn't work, because you are doing it wrong. Much love, guys. Like and subscribe.